What up? What up? What up? Timbaland. How can I say this? Timbaland, like, I don't know what you looking for in your music review because I've watched 2 or 3 of them, and I watched one, and to come to your defense, that one didn't have so much talent in it. It might have had the main 2 people that you were like, okay, cool, I like these 2 tracks. Do agree with that. But outside of that, when I looked at another one, the night after, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because I sent 2 songs in for review, and I'm not sitting up here, this is no video where I'm like crying about not getting my song reviewed. I'm not sitting here boo-hooing, crying about getting my song reviewed. I don't really care about getting my song reviewed. There's other missions about music that you must do versus trying to just have your favorite producer hear your music. That's not going to really help you. He's only one human. Everybody else has to still hear it. It still has to get distributed. Because Timbaland heard it don't mean everybody gonna get to hear it. It could be the biggest song with Timbaland ever heard on his feed, and the song probably would never see the light of day as far as on a mainstream level, but it might be a big song on like an internet moment, a viral internet moment, but it might not be the moment that you think it would be. I think you're thinking, oh yeah, Timbaland hear my shit, it's over. It's like, no, Timbaland hear your shit, that's another ear, that's another human, but it's a type of ear where you like, I know you had experience, like you Timbaland, so I know if you was my family member, I would go to you and ask you for music advice, and I would trust you. It's that type of scenario. It's not, I'm going to you because I think if you hear my music, you know what I'm saying, somehow, some way, everybody else gonna hear it, and my music's just gonna be taken to another level. I don't think that's what the scenario is, and we gotta start like using our own discernment and thinking in that way, that these music reviews are only in place to get a little bit of, I would say, behind the scenes arbitration. You want somebody to say something bad about it because you want to figure out whatever thing that's nagging them, whatever thing that you can fix and make a little bit better in the song to make the track better, to where when people hear it, it will be, nobody will have any discretion about it, because arbitration brings less discretions. The more people hear it, the more people have an opinion about it, the more people will smooth out the actual track, because if you take in all of those responses in a mature way, you take in all that criticism in a mature way, and then just say, okay, you said that snare wasn't loud enough. Okay, let me see how I can make it a little bit more dynamic. Let me go into it and make it a little bit more realistic, make it a little bit more prevalent, make it have more presence. Let me work on that. Let me work on that for, you know what I'm saying, 1 or 2 days. Let me not feel some type of way because you said that. You said that snare is dated. Okay, let me take a step back and ask somebody else, hey, what do you think about that snare? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, cool. You know what? 2 people said it. I'm gonna kind of swap that snare out. I'm gonna try to modernize it, or I'm gonna keep the same snare, modernize it, or I'm gonna swap the snare out for a new snare that sound maybe similar to it but better. Do something. Like, but you can't sit there and take in a critique and be negative towards the critique just because somebody said it. But Timbaland. I think I can speak for the whole crowd. We don't know what you're looking for, because I watched one video and you were reviewing a couple of people, and it was back to back to where I was like, that's decent music. That sound like really good SoundCloud. If you know what I'm talking about, I ain't talking about mainstream. I'm talking about SoundCloud music, because SoundCloud is different. And everybody got to realize this. This is the one beautiful thing about SoundCloud. SoundCloud has so much at-home talent, and people show their skills from their house, to the point to where everybody has their unique sound from their crib, if they do it on a level to where it's great and it sounds good. I'm not saying everybody on SoundCloud sounds good. I'm saying the people who do it well and great on SoundCloud and they start out on SoundCloud typically come from a home studio or a small independent setting in a smaller studio, not a major studio, not a mainstream studio. So I'm saying all that to say that if you're on SoundCloud, you listening to music on SoundCloud, you're judging it from the standpoint of saying, can this be a song that I can put in my playlist that just sounds good? If it just sounds good, I'm not judging to say this sounds dated or this sounds like this. Do it sound very good. Do it sound very well. You know what I'm saying? Not to the level of it sounding like the same sonic value, sonic quality as a Beyonce track, or the same sonic quality as a Rihanna track. Those people are using millions of dollars and millions of dollars worth of salary too. Millions of dollars worth of human minds that have experienced over the years that can smooth out and make stuff sound almost to the point to where it sounds very put together. Nothing's out of place. But when you get a home recording, of course it's going to sound different. And I think that's the thing that he don't realize, that if somebody makes a song at the crib, it ain't going to sound like your mainstream song that you probably looking for, Timbaland. I don't know if you looking for some type of mainstream like song just right off the rip that you can take and you can flip and then you can just put your name behind and you can make money off of it. I don't know if that's what you're looking for. I don't know if you're looking for certain talent levels. Like if you're looking for talent, if you're looking for talent, you shouldn't worry about the mix. You shouldn't even worry about the actual like song being a hit. You should just worry about the artist actually having talent. If it's like that, you should just be reviewing this like a demo. It depends on what you're looking for. That's why I'm like, Timbaland, we don't know what you're looking for. And it brings me back to say, maybe producers don't make great A&Rs. Maybe some music producers don't make great A&Rs, because an A&R can identify talent and know how to take that talent to the next level. I'm gonna say that again. An A&R can definitely identify talent and know how to put that talent with the right people to take that talent to another level. So I don't know if Timbaland has that vision enough to take things to the next level. That's what I feel like in my heart of hearts. That's just my opinion. Y'all can get mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Timbo still is the king, like he say. He's still that dude. But when it comes down to being like having an A&R ear, I gotta have a pushback on that, being like, I don't think you know what you're doing. I think you trying to like look for this perfect track that sound like you, or you can get behind, or you can put your name behind, or you can say, well, if this represents me, it's gotta be perfect. I don't think that exists on this level of people making stuff from the crib, because if you make it from the crib, it's gonna sound like it come from my crib. Now, we do things to a certain level to where they sound professional and everybody kind of sounds similar, but everybody got their own sound out the crib. Like, I'm just being honest. That's what makes kind of home studio recordings, that's what make them kind of unique. That's what make Billie Eilish stuff kind of pop. They did it out of the crib. They might have had some type of, intervention as far as bigger label support, as far as mixing and mastering on another level in a major studio. But as far as a home setting and a home recording, that's why Billie Eilish sounds like she sounds. So we can't sit here and say that if Timbaland heard Billie Eilish's old stuff and he didn't know who she was, I don't think he would pick her out of the pack. And she's one of the most prolific artists of the last decade. So I don't think Timbaland know what he doing. It's a lot of tracks that I've went through on my SoundCloud list and I'm like, these are great artists. Her came from SoundCloud. I'm listening to songs on SoundCloud and I'm like, Mac Ayres, goddamn Sam Smith, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn what's the other girl? Georgia Smith. Goddamn, it's a bunch of people. It's a bunch of people on SoundCloud. I'm just listening to it. I'm like, I think he would listen to these, and then I don't know what he would do with these. I don't think he would because I've heard stuff similar to that type of level that he's played, and he hasn't been excited about it, jump for joy. He get excited every now and then, but it's like you catching him at a good moment. And I can tell if he get fatigued hearing bad music, he can hear something good, but it seems like he just turns into this asshole after he hears like a series of like 6 or 7 things that are bad, and he doesn't have that ear fatigue to hold in there to be like, okay, I'm gonna hear some bad stuff. I can hear 100 bad tracks, but hear one good track. And that comes from having maybe an A&R ear and somewhat of a DJ's ear. And I mean, he did DJ back in the day, but I don't know Timbaland for being this prolific DJ as far as like bringing new music, as far as like living as a DJ. He's been a producer over the years. He was a DJ back when he first started, but as far as like living in the world of like bringing new music to the forefront, actually listening to 50 tracks and only getting one track, listening to 100 EDM tracks and only getting one track. There's probably a couple of y'all that knows that experience. Listening to 100 hip-hop tracks, new hip-hop tracks, and only getting one track out of it because you wanted to find something that ain't nobody else got. And you wanted to find something that's really dope. Listening to 100 R&B tracks and being like, I'm gonna listen to all these people because they tied together on SoundCloud. I'm gonna find somebody. Ooh, put that in the playlist. That take a lot of patience, and you know if you've ever done that take a lot of patience and just focus and empathy and just having an ear for finding something that would sound good that you would enjoy and having that patience. And I don't think Timbaland got it. I think Timbaland somewhat kind of is impatient in a way because maybe he's kind of burned out. Maybe he needs to bring maybe somebody else live in there with him. Maybe he needs to be him and 2 other people to where they have like some type of legitimate arbitration to where there's 3 people voting for it, to where if he don't like it, somebody else might like it, and then somebody else might like it. Just like The Voice, you know what I'm saying? And he can be the online, you know what I'm saying, The Voice, but just him alone having that, I don't think he has the right mindset and the right A&R like lens to do that. And I might be wrong. So, you know, you guys might have a different perspective of it. Tell me what you think down below. Y'all know what to do. I'm out.